Hi, my name is Sara Schmitt and I am a PhD student in Human Development and Family Sciences. As an undergrad, I studied psychology and I had a lot of experiences working with children in research and laboratory settings there. And so I knew that I wanted to work with children in some sort of capacity, but I just wasn't sure in what capacity. And so after graduation, I decided to join an AmeriCorps team. And as an AmeriCorps volunteer, I worked at a homeless shelter and I taught preschool classes there, as well as tutored school-aged children. And it was at this point that I realized that these kids were really behind, both behaviorally and academically, and I knew that I wanted to devote my career to researching ways to help children from disadvantage. One of the primary studies I've been involved in here at OSU is trying to develop a screening tool that parents and teachers and researchers can all use to try to see how ready kids are for school in terms of their self-regulation or self-control skills.
Sara's been involved in 2 large studies that I've been conducting at OSU focused on improving children's school readiness. One of them is the study that's funded by the U.S. Department of Education that focuses on a screening tool for young children's school readiness, and the other is an intervention that we're doing to help children practice the skills that they need to be ready for kindergarten. In both of those projects, Sara's been an invaluable part of our research team. She's a graduate research assistant and has worked just unbelievably well with parents and teachers and part of our staff.
The Child Development Laboratory here at OSU provides us with a nice, wonderful space to conduct research on ways to help children be more prepared for school. And then we can take this knowledge and develop interventions that we can take into the community, particularly communities who may have children at risk for poor developmental outcomes. These skills are things like children's ability to pay attention, to persist on tasks, to remember instruction and rules, and to inhibit responses that might not be so supportive of their academic success. So remembering to raise their hand rather than just blurting out an answer, for example. We primarily play really fun games with the kids that allow them to practice these skills. So allow them to practice paying attention, remembering instructions and rules, being able to persist on multi-step tasks, and be able to, again, inhibit those dominant responses. For example, a game that we play is the traditional red light, green light game. And so we would ask children to first play in the traditional way. Red means stop, green means go. But then as we continue playing the games, we add and change rules so that the kids have to adapt and remember new rules and pay attention to those new rules and abide by them.
Sara says, raise your hand.
Another game we play with the kids is a variation of the traditional Simon Says game. So my name is Sara, so it would be called Sara Says. And in this game, the children, like the typical Simon Says game, the children are to do the action that I ask them to do when I say Sara Says and not do it when I don't say Sara Says. And this game really helps kids to stop, think, and then act, which is very, very important for a school setting. What we learned from this work is where kids are at in terms of their school readiness, and so what we can do with that is provide interventions for children who are really struggling with these skills. And so in a recent study, we actually did go into a school and played these games over the course of 8 weeks with these kids, and we're finding that kids who participated in these games really did better at the end of their preschool year. And so we're hoping that by playing with these games, we can help these kids be more prepared for formal school entry. We do provide parents and teachers with a list of the games that we play in the hopes that they will play with their children at home, and the teachers will use these games in the regular classroom setting as a way to prepare their kids for school. Not only do I want to continue this pathway of research and try to figure out ways to help kids from at-risk backgrounds, but also I'm looking forward to engaging undergraduates in my work and also teaching them how to work with children in school settings, how to be parents to children in successful ways, and to promote whatever career that they want in child development. This work, my graduate training here, is setting the stage for my future as an academic. I'd like to continue this pathway of research that I've started here at OSU into a faculty position in a university setting.
I think Sara has enormous potential to be such a successful researcher and teacher. She and all of our graduate students here in HDFS have just received such excellent training in the College of Public Health and Human Sciences to form a foundation for a really successful career.
Promoting school readiness for children at risk not only helps them do better in school, but lays the foundation for a healthy and successful lifelong trajectory, which means the world to me. I think about those kids, those homeless kids I worked with back in the AmeriCorps year, and I just know that they needed so much more support than I could offer. So I hope to continue to do this work and help these kids just do better in school and have an overall healthy life.